Hello, this is Jeff Malone, the X is Silent, here with a review of the November 5th, 2011 episode of Saturday Night Live, hosted by Charlie Day with musical guest Maroon 5. Our opening sketch was a message from the ghost of Muammar Gaddafi. This is, one of Fred Armisen's standard ethnic, Middle Eastern specific impressions crossed with one of his dictator tyrant bits. Yeah, pretty interchangeable with his Hosni Mubarak impression. The joke here, and this was the best part about the sketch, was the idea that someone like Gaddafi would talk in such a conversational, laid-back sort of way. So that got a B-. Charlie Day's monologue had a bit of fun to it, and when Danny DeVito came on, their bickering was very much a la the sort of interactions they have on the show that they co-star on, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. So that was a bit of a treat for fans of Always Sunny. That gets a B. And then then we had a commercial for Kim's fairy tale divorce. Kim Kardashian had her fairy tale wedding, and now, oh so soon, she's moving on to her fairy tale divorce. And the best line from this one was, "Whoopsies, I got divorced." And then we, before the first commercial break, we still had time for the Dr. Oz show, where Dr. Oz is played by Bill Hader, helped out an audience member played by Charlie Day who had trouble with evacuating. And the fun of this was just Bill doing his Dr. Oz impression, a solid impression, and playing it straight while delivering some scatological humor. So, good enough, B-. Then we had the Greek gods discussing ideas for how to solve the Greek financial crisis. Great sketch, especially in terms of how everyone in the cast was involved. Every cast member was in this sketch, except for Weekend Update anchor Seth Meyers, who rarely appears in sketches. And then the host was in there, and the musical guest, the frontman of the musical guest, appeared as well. Adam Levine appeared as the Greek god of music, Jmunney. The best performance, there were great performances across the board here, but the best was when our host Charlie Day, ran on in the end as the Greek god of partying and, fun and all that, Dionysus, and then they found out that he was the one in charge of finances. And then we had a talk show. Greek Gods gets a B+. Then we had It's Getting Freaky with CeeLo Green, as played by Kenan Thompson, which is right in the middle of Kenan's impressions. There's the great Kenan impressions, Charles Barkley, Bill Cosby, Forrest Whitaker, even, where he's so spot on, and then the rest where he's not even trying to do an impression. Here he actually was trying to do an impression, and it was merely all right. The best part of the sketch was Bill Hader as Colonel Nasty, and he brought back that laugh that he did in the Bride of Blackenstein sketch as a villager who was taken by the Bride of Blackenstein. So I love it when he whips out that freaky little nasty laugh. So thanks to Bill as Colonel Nasty, this sketch was good enough for a B. And then, oh boy, we had the Original Kings of Catchphrase Comedy Volume 2. So we saw the return of David Beef Jelly Winfield, Goran Funky Boy Bogdan, Slappy Pappy, and also Addie Newsflash Sweeney, Boston Powers, straight out of rehab, and of course Fur Coat Rhonda. And then the new folks were just as great: Jerk Jackknife Kane, Chris Who Said That Bruss, Shania In These Shoes Tunt, Black Stewie Griffin, Bonnie My Vagina Carolina, Adam Hawk Attack Levine, the Squeefy Brothers, Jorge, that ain't this is Miguel, and Gavin, What If It Had Boobs Spieler. And the best new catchphrase comedian had to have been Bill Hader's character of Rick, watch it or I'll suck your cock to Penske, from Chicago, Illinois. But I think the best performance here overall came from, no surprise, Slappy Pappy. The best line being, "Dear Lord, let me have a woman with some fat-ass teddies, Slappy Pappy, wah, wah." And then when he did the Slappy Pappy wah, wah bit on the 4 microphones, that was one of the best visual gags I've seen on SNL or anywhere in a long time. And then Maroon 5 did their first performance of the night, Moves Like Jagger, which suffered from, Kings of Catchphrase gets an A-. Moves Like Jagger suffered from Adam Levine dancing around a bit too much. He seemed a bit out of breath. Vocals weren't as strong as they could have been, so that gets a B-. Good song, nonetheless. On to Weekend Update. Seth showed here how he can just go on way too long and just kill the momentum of a joke. I mean, there were some funny parts in the closer look at Europe, but it goes on so long, and we get it right away, and then. But he just keeps going on and on. So Seth gets a C+ for this week. Then as for the segments, we had Bill Hader as Rick Perry, who apparently is still drunk or on Ambien or whatever after a strange performance at one of the debates where he seemed to be drunk. Nice. The best bit here, I'd say. The hula girl who said hola instead of aloha, so that gets a B+. And then we had nervous travel writer Judy Rhymes. Then let's see, what was the best line she had? Oh, I don't know. She talks so fast, but not as classic as her first few appearances, but still good enough to merit a B. Then we had Because of One Dolphin, which was on the set of some kids movie, excuse me. And the best part here would have to have been Keenan, with his repeated utterances of "I do my job." So that was good enough for a B-. And then the next musical performance, Maroon 5 was joined by Travie McCoy to do Stereo Hearts, which is actually a Gym Class Heroes song, which Travie McCoy fronts with a little help from Adam Levine. So, Heroes is kind of the opposite. I'm not a huge fan of this song, but it sounded good live. So them's the breaks, ain't they? So that was good enough for a B. And then we had the investigation at a crime scene in an apartment that looked just like Jerry Seinfeld's apartment, except that the detective, as played by Charlie Day, has never heard of Seinfeld or baseball or World War II. This was the best sketch of the season so far, and the best moment was when, right in the beginning, Jason Sudeikis' cop character says, "Doesn't this look like the Seinfeld apartment?" And, everyone was thinking it. Everyone in the audience. Everyone at home, I'm sure. And we weren't sure if it was going to be addressed. And then when he brought it up, it just, cheers came out wildly. So that, of course, gets an A. And then we finished things off with a repeat appearance of the commercial for Lil Pound Cake, the doll that administers the HPV vaccine. Originally, when it aired, I gave it a B, and I am sticking with that grade. Overall, this was the best episode of the season so far. As Charlie Day said during the good nights, this was the best night of my life! And he seemed to be having fun, and he was given plenty of roles that fit him well. He got to do his crazy high-pitched yelling and his flailing about, and the whole cast was featured very nicely. There were 2 sketches that featured everyone in the cast. One of them featured everyone but Seth, but I mean, how many episodes are there where there's 1 sketch that features everyone in the cast? So that was very nice. And Bill Hader was the MVP among the cast members for this episode. No surprise there, coming off an excellent season last year. But he seemed to just be showing up in every sketch, and whether it revolved around his character or not, he just took off and really went with it. So, yeah, Charlie Day, Maroon 5, benchmark of the 11-12 season so far. I will see you next week when I will be reviewing the Emma Stone Coldplay episode. Emma hosting for a second time, just a little over a year after she hosted her for her first time last season, and Coldplay are appearing for their 5th time, I think? 4th or 5th. And yeah, in the meantime, check out the blog, jmunney.wordpress.com, and we'll talk later.